This meeting is being recorded.
All right, well, welcome into the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We have reached episode 36, the Jerome Bettis edition. It's August 18th, 2022. We're recording this August 15th, 2022. Grant and Ethan are coming to us live from Grant's residency in his basement. He got some nice old folk music, looks like posters behind.
We got a little Springsteen,
a headstone,
Alex Dad's band, Bob Dylan on the corner, Santana, Rolling Stones to my left,
Eagles.
Jimmy Buffett, the Eagles. A lot of classic rock down here.
Well, yeah, Bob Dylan, hails from Hibbing, Minnesota, so got to represent the home state there. So we've got that. I'm back in Dickinson. It is game week for myself. We have our first game on Friday, go up to Des Lacs. We had a scrimmage over the weekend. It went pretty well. Reasons for some cautious optimism. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But we might touch on that later in the show. But most of this show, NFL preseason has kicked off. College football seems like it is so close, but it is so far away still. We still got another week before Nebraska and Northwestern fly out to Ireland and play. The Twins suck again. And then we'll finish up with some curveball of the week before, and then I guess we get to send Grant off to be the original Florida man because he probably is the most Florida man of this podcast.
Without question. And I'm damn proud of that.
But all right, so we'll start with the preseason. How Cowboys and Chiefs played on Saturday. Chiefs lost to the Bears 19-14. And then the Cowboys, where I guess we'll start, they lost to Denver 17-7. I know it's preseason, but I don't want to overreact. But Dallas had 17 penalties, and 10 of them came on offense. Defense, it's a little bit because sometimes
good, right?
It's happened.
That's not terrible.
That's not bad. For a quarter, you can win games with that.
That's like longest yard. Let's kick him in the fucking head.
Yeah, basically. And I just don't have any hope. They have enough talent to win the division, but that's it. They're too undisciplined. They're gonna have the same problems they have last year. They'll play against a good team. They'll get hit in the mouth. They'll start whining, and then they'll just implode and lose in the wild card divisional round. Well, no, they won't even make the divisional round because they'll lose to the wild card, or they won't even make the playoffs because their coach is like 17 penalties. You're either coaching it, allowing it to happen.
Hey, who's this Simi Fehoko guy? I picked him up in my Dynasty League 1 because I had an open roster spot because we got rid of defense. And 2, he had a really cool name, and it sounded like he had a good training camp. Who is this guy?
From Dallas?
No. Yeah, some wide receiver.
I had no clue.
Some second-year guy. He's going for the two spot. So we'll see.
Well,
interesting.
He's pumped.
Well, and that's the other part with the Cowboys too is after CeeDee Lamb, if CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, they're screwed because they have nobody behind them. That's
Gallup's not back till what? November, September?
Yeah, Gallup is maybe
mid-October.
And the biggest lot, like Cooper, I would have liked to have, but there's reports that he doesn't like playing in the cold. So you're going to go on the road knowing this team in the playoffs. You're going to go on the road in cold, and then you don't show up. Like, whatever.
Have fun. He knows he's playing in Cleveland, right?
In Cleveland. He knows that.
Yeah.
You have that wind coming off the lake. I mean, my God, you've never been in a cold spot like that.
Bro, you've been in – time out. Let me go on an Cooper thing here.
Good.
Bro grew up in Miami, went to Tuscaloosa for college, drafted by Oakland, traded to Dallas. Bro's never lived in the cold weather. He's played, 3 or 4 games, and they say adapt or die. Well, he's clearly going to die, and he's, an overpaid receiver for $20 million anyway for the Browns. So good luck with that. Maybe the Joneses heard that, and they just wanted to kind of stick it to him, kind of do like what the Spurs tried to do when they sent Kawhi to Toronto. But Kawhi got the last laugh there, being Finals MVP. But it's like, dude, you've lived in the warm weather your whole life. And with the technology we have these days with the gloves, the long sleeves, the heated sidelines, it's not that bad. he's going to be fine. But that's incredible.
Well, and the Cooper loss kind of hurt, but I think a bigger loss for Dallas is going to be Cedric Wilson because he still would have been their number 3 receiver, and he was a solid number 3. And
why did he leave? Or why didn't they try to get him back?
He was a free agent. He played himself out of he played so well. He
did have a good
dollar in Miami. So I'm not. You can't fault the guy for it.
Oh yeah, and with Dallas, you look at Dak, you look at Zeke, DeMarcus Lawrence. At the time when you still had Cooper, I don't know what Zach Martin's contract. Tyron Smith is probably still getting paid. There's no room. And you have to look in the future and say, well, we'll let Cedric go because Parsons. I don't know how Van Der Esch, his contract situation is.
Can we say that's an Ezekiel Elliott?
It's a 1 year.
Is it? Oh yeah, so it's a Zeke cut. Yeah, like Ethan said, it's the worst contract in pro football.
And Jerry's convinced that he's going to be the feature back. But I mean, he was hurt. He did have they said he had a torn MCL last year that he played on. So maybe if he's healthier, but I don't think you can lean on Zeke like he used to in his first 2 years. You need a healthy dose. You basically should split the carries 50-50 with Pollard and Zeke. And in short yardage situations, Zeke is useless. Zeke, I don't know the last time it was a fourth and 1, 3rd and 1 that where they call Zeke's number and he actually got it. He's always stuck behind the line.
Well, and that just comes down to will and want and drive, trying to be a good teammate, and like I said, just trying to win. And Zeke doesn't have that. He's almost kind of like an NBA player now. He got his bread. He's got his fame and fortune. He's just going to sit on that, and whatever happens. He's just happy to be there.
He's just
he doesn't want to play football. He just wants to collect the paycheck, look cool, and all the luggage he can buy. That's wicked expensive that he bought Dak last year on Hard Knocks, and just live the rock star lifestyle that comes with being a Dallas Cowboy.
Speaking of Hard Knocks, did you guys get to watch the first episode yet?
I've not.
No,
I did.
What'd you think? Dan, I would love to play for Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I told that to Ethan. I said, I think this year's season, it's going to revolve around, Dan Campbell's going to be the main character. It's Dan Campbell's show, but it's going to be good. And you like the Lions coaching staff and the players they have because unlike Zeke, these guys want it. They want to be there. They love football and they want what's best for them. They need the talent. And they need to stop making mistakes.
They're going to beat the Packers.
Well, if you look at their schedule sets up fairly nicely where I wouldn't be surprised if they go 9-8, 8-9 this year. And
I said 6+.
The biggest key is if they can keep Jared Goff out of a drop back pass game, because if they can keep him where he's play action, getting out on the edge, throwing the ball, that's where he really shines. And if they're able to do that, because they have a good running back in DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, and then they have really good receivers. They've got a good tight end in TJ Hawkinson. They've got Penei Sewell, who looks like an absolute beast and ready to just take over this league as the best left tackle in the NFL. Or he's playing right tackle, I think, isn't he?
He's playing right tackle. Yeah, because you still got Taylor Decker at left tackle, and then what's his name? Is it Martin? The center from Arkansas.
He's not Martin.
No, he's originally from Minnesota. He's originally from Minnesota. Played college football at Arkansas. The dude is an absolute tank.
And you had Williams here probably end of September. First round pick.
Bringing Jameson back.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
He might be the best freaking receiver in the draft.
And then they have who else are their other receivers? St. Brown was a good player. I can't even think of who else they have.
The guy from Wisconsin.
Cephas.
Yep.
Yeah, so they have a good trio right there.
So yeah, and Dan Campbell is a guy who just seems he's a hard guy to root against. So I think he's making everybody a little bit of a Lions fan and excited for. Well, this episode will be by the time this episode, so we won't be able to do a preview or a review of the episode. But that is, I'm excited. Go ahead.
Frank Ragnow. That's the center I was thinking.
Ragnow.
Ragnow. Yeah. He's the highest.
That is a center name.
Isn't it? Not only is Frank a center name, Ragnow is a center name. When you put it together, that just has the like I'm the best center in the NFL ring to it, which he is when he's healthy. But so back to Dallas real quick. Can we start a hire Sean Payton hashtag already?
Please.
Like a bring Sean Payton home,
or Dan Quinn, anybody that's just not Mike McCarthy's the meme, that meme of like where there's a guy just laying on the ground and the guy holding a stick that says do something. That's what everybody for Mike McCarthy, and I'm sure people can pull up old episodes of me saying that the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. Just so everybody knows, that is my alter ego of full-on douchebag Cowboy, stereotypical douchebag Cowboy fan. That is not my actual thoughts, because I would like to consider myself one of the more logical, reasonable Cowboy fans that understands that they are just not a great franchise.
Well, there's one of you. There's one of you out there, so that's a small start.
But so then we'll shift to the game that happened before the Cowboys game. The Bears beat the Chiefs. Grant, are you worried now that the lowly Bears took care of the Chiefs? Is this cause for concern? Have you thrown in the towel yet, or do you still have a little bit of hope?
Not at all, because the players that will not be on the Bears roster are better than the players that will not be on the Chiefs roster. So I'm not too upset with that. When QB1 goes out there, plays one drive, goes 6 of 7 for 60 yards and throws a tutty, we'll take it. And the best part about that touchdown is this: it wasn't Mahomes rolling out to the right, avoiding a sack, throwing it into the end zone, across the field, some laser cannon. You know what it was? It was a red zone screen, the Andy Reid staple, week 1 of the preseason. We're going to dump it off to the belldozer. We're going to follow the fullback. Yes, the Chiefs still use the fullback right into the end zone. It was just fantastic to see the Chiefs score like that. Not the greatest, not the fastest, greatest show on turf, or, I'm not comparing them to the Rams, but a little red zone screen, the Andy Reid special, just makes your heart warm. And the defense didn't give up any points in the first half either.
Yeah. How did Dunlap play at all, or did they play anybody other defensive guys?
Yeah, all the starters at least got a drive.
Okay.
It was nice. Chris Jones had a sack. Karlaftis, the first-round pick, he also had a sack. And then there was a third one. I think it was the young man from Florida State, who's a second-year player. He also had a sack. So it was nice to see, the defense. That's what I like most about Andy. Preseason, he puts his starters out there, even if it's just for a drive, getting you out there, some live ammunition, people falling around on your knees, learning people tackle to the ground. And, they got after the quarterback. So, it's 1.5 of football, but offense scored a touchdown, and they got a pass rush from new guys. So you love to see it.
Do you have any guys on that roster or positions that you're looking out for as far as depth, or some sleeper guys that to look out for as the season gets closer?
So I think Trent McDuffie, the first-round pick, out of Washington, I think there's a chance he might be a day one starter.
The corner?
Outside of L'Jarius Sneed. Yep. L'Jarius Sneed is one of the better 3-year corners in the league. But I think McDuffie, he's had a great camp. He's put clamps down on people. And then also Rashad Fenton, him and McDuffie are going back and forth at other starting corner spot. And then also the receivers. Low-key, I think this could be, losing Tyreek is big, but every day this year so far, one receiver has had a great day. Whether it's Valdez-Scantling, Hardman came up and he's had a big day. I've heard Sky Moore is getting better and better every day. He's hard to cover. Juju's having a good day. The depth at receiver, I think, is something this Chiefs team will have throughout the whole year. And then lastly, our linebackers. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay. You draft Leo Chanel. You get the 2 Iowa linebackers, Hitchen and Neiman, out of there. We're younger, we're faster, we're more physical there. So that should help. I think having some legit linebackers in your other corner outside of L'Jarius Sneed, and then these wide receivers.
Okay, and just so you know, Grant, just because Juju made some good TikToks doesn't mean he's having a good camp.
I haven't seen him make any TikToks yet, dog. But
Okay.
Also, I don't have the app. I'm the same person who doesn't have the TikTok app, but will watch reels on Instagram all day, which are TikToks.
Mhm.
But since I don't have the app, I'm not a toxic person in society.
Oh, there you go.
I might download it for you tonight.
Bang.
So,
Well, if you do that, we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
all right. Well, we'll move over. The Vikings played the Raiders out in Las Vegas yesterday on Sunday, and look, Kirk Cousins was out with COVID, and there were a couple other starters they held out, but
Like
Over-
13.
They help like every
Yeah.
starter out.
yeah,
pretty
because
much, like
Harry
every
didn't
team
play,
won.
so it was a good opportunity for some of those rookies that they signed on the defensive end to get some playing time. Looked like they played all right, and the Vikings do have a very interesting battle going on for that second quarterback position between Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond looked really good yesterday.
He looked fantastic.
Looking at the Vikings Twitter, they are ready for Mond to take that next step and get Mannion out of there and be the full-time backup. Ethan, what would you, how would you assess the Vikings play yesterday?
I'm encouraged by Mon because he looked absolutely deer in the headlights last year, including in camp. He was just terrible. But even Thursday, when we were at training camp last Thursday, he looked very much like the better quarterback. Mannion threw a screen at the feet of a guy. He went the wrong way on a handoff. It was not a good day for Mannion. It was pretty bad. Mon made a couple good throws, but really practice was it was day before they flew out. So it wasn't really a whole lot. It was just pads, but no tackling, anything like that. So pretty mellow. Only an hour and a half long. Wasn't even very long. But the game I thought was good. Ty Chandler, remember the name, the running back out of North Carolina, came 5 carries, 50 yards, about a 45-yard kick return. I think probably next year he's probably going to be your number 2. Madison's probably going to leave here soon. But I'm guessing he's last year of his deal, I think.
This is the last year of
Yeah.
his deal, yeah.
Well,
But
and
then also-
Madison's played himself out of a contract. Would you tip your cap to him because
Which
he's
you
a
have to
very
do,
good.
yeah.
He's a very good. No, I don't think he's good enough to be a number 1 consistently, but he's easily a good enough to be
Put
a
him with a guy
very
that's
reliable
like
number.
just flashy.
Well,
like
he would be the perfect complement for Nick Chubb.
yeah.
Like, let's say Dearness Johnson, there we go. If he were to leave, if he were to get paid and play out of his contract, and they tell Kareem Hunt to get out of town, he would be a perfect guy to spell Chubb, out of that Browns backfield because they both kind of have a similar skill set. He can't catch the ball that well, but anybody can catch the ball better than Nick Chubb in this league.
Seriously.
And Madison played for Stefanski too in Minnesota, so he already has that system down.
Yep. So I look at a situation like that, or even like this team doesn't need running backs because they find them everywhere, but San Francisco, he would be perfect in that offense with
You give
Shanahan.
next Raheem Mostert, but well, so at camp, were there any guys that you saw that to keep an eye on to look out for, and that you guys were impressed by, or did you guys watch any specific positions on the field that has some question marks?
Nothing really flashed, but I can tell you, Lewis Seen is he's a specimen. He is very, very large. Like he's a human missile. Like I'd be terrified seeing him run downhill at me.
And for me, it's going to be Za'Darius and Daniil. Those guys, they looked fresh. They looked healthy. They were coming off the ball. And there was a couple of times where Mannion and Mon, some of the passes they threw would not have been thrown because they were on the ground.
Yeah.
So it was really the ones and the twos, all the pass rushers for the Vikings had this year, they were getting home on Thursday. So if they can stay healthy, the Vikings could have again another top 5 sack total defense in this league, and that'll help them win games because if you're getting to the quarterback, especially in passing situations, you can't give up points in the last 2 minutes of the half, and that's how the Vikings lost so many games last year. So seeing Za'Darius and Daniil get after it was nice to see.
Okay.
Defense kind of controlled the whole game. I mean, I know they didn't have Kirk.
Well, yeah,
on Thursday,
Kirk was
but,
out because at the time
he had an illness.
They sent him home because they didn't know what he had, but it's still early on in camp. And remember, defense is always going to be head of offense, probably until actually about week 4 of the regular season. But It's just one of those days. The pass rushers, it was their day.
Yeah, JJ had a couple plays. Thielen had one catch. Mond had a couple good throws, but really defense just kind of held them in check pretty good.
But again, like I said, it's still early. They've probably only had 8 practices and pads.
Yeah.
Did Irv Smith play?
No, he's out till at least the opener, I think.
Broken thumb.
Okay.
Surgery on
Who
it.
are they looking at for a third receiver this year, the Vikings? Outside of
Well, they got
Thielen,
Osborne.
Jefferson.
KJ.
Oh,
KJ.
yep.
KJ.
I mean, BC's there, but Amir Smith-Marset, I think, seems to be more in the 4 spot than BC.
Okay.
BC's coming off that ACL.
Well,
But,
Smith-Marset looks like they look like to use him more in the return game as a weapon because he had a couple of good returns yesterday.
Yeah, he had the punt return, I think, first for that. But
I think Amir will be the number 4 receiver.
yeah,
When they want to go an empty set, he'll be the other guy on the outside
stretch the field.
to stretch the field a little bit. But it'll be interesting. I think Albert Wilson, he may have something to say about that. In terms
He had
of
2 touchdowns.
Spot, having 2 touchdowns yesterday, and being that he played, for the Chiefs for a couple of years.
A little bit different than anyone else on the team.
Yeah, being that he played for the Chiefs for a couple of seasons and had some success, he might just work his way into that 5th receiver spot.
Almost like a Chad Beebe type guy.
Exactly, and then also with that, you have at least another guy inside. Where if you look at your the wide receiver situation, if that's the case, Jet can go inside, Thielen can dominate inside. You have KJ. If you have Wilson, that's 4 guys where you can interchange inside, outside, and get your matchups, and then have
even ISM out of the slot would be intriguing. Run a little crossing route with him.
He would be, but I kind of see him more on the outside. He's got to develop his skill set as a route runner.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get that dude rolling, he is fast. There might not be a receiver faster than him on this team.
No.
Okay, and then Kendricks was held out. Anybody on the defense that really stood out to you guys outside of the Smith and Daniil Hunter? You said Lewis Cine was a big
pick, but
the defense they just had a good day.
Yeah, I think
Harrison Phillips will be nice in the middle, kind of anchor that defense down because you got him and Dalvin Tomlinson. Those are 2 big dudes in the middle when you're switching to a 34 front. But yeah, just all in all, the defense, they had a good day, and I think Kendricks is going to be an absolute star in this system because he's going to have someone protecting him, where he's going to be able to go out and just make plays left and right.
Lynch out of Baylor, he's our 2nd-year D tackle. He had a good game versus the Raiders, so I guess we'll watch that. I think he's probably in the running for 3rd D tackle right now, rotation at least.
All right, I gotcha.
Another question I'm going to have for the Vikings is this real quick. Who's going to be the corner outside of Pat Pete? I'm thinking Dantzler's got the spot right now, but who's gonna put the reins on that? For Andrew Booth has had a good camp. Is there a chance the rookie from Clemson can be a starter from day one? So who's gonna win corner number 2?
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do they play next? When's their next?
Saturday versus the Niners. They come here for practice on the 18th.
But what's nice is the Niners, they're doing, I think, a couple days in town where the teams are practicing and they're going to get after it a little bit.
Yeah, they have a joint for sure on Thursday.
You going to make it out there, Ethan? I know, Grant, you'll be in Florida.
I haven't decided yet. I need to see what time it is. I'm going to see if Logan can maybe hook me up.
But I know they normally do 2 days of joint practices whenever these teams fly into town.
Well, and I know these coaches like them because they refer to them more beneficial than the preseason games. So be interesting to see.
They're actually talking to O'Connell. I guess we got Shanahan's one of his best friends. So
I suppose, yeah. Well, they're all from that same McVay coaching tree.
Well, not even McVay. Go back to Washington.
Yeah, Shanahan,
O'Connell.
Mike.
No, I don't know if he was there.
He was
there.
He was there with Gruden, but he's with that relationship because then McVay brought him, over there. So yeah, they're all those young guys from that Shanahan McVay kind of tree. Also that you got LaFleur from too, kind of the young guns in the coaching world now in this league.
Yeah, and that's about all the excitement. Deshaun Watson didn't look too good. He got razzed pretty good by the Jaguars fans as they chanted "You sick fuck." And
show out, Duval County. Show out.
And I guess there was a sign that that said that had a sign up from some Jags fan that said, "Deshaun, can I borrow some massage oils?"
He's going to be harassed all year on the road, and it's
Well,
gonna be played. The internet's going to be great to see.
And that was his first action, and he did not look well lubricated.
Not at all. Whoops.
And we'll end the Deshaun talk there. Who knows what happens? Maybe by the time this episode releases, the NFL will say that he was suspended for a full season, which has been speculated for now. But
then his lawyer will appeal, and nothing will happen until
he said he'd
2023.
accept what, a 12 game for like a couple
12
million?
8 game, $5 million.
$5 million fine.
Yeah, it's like piss off. Buddy.
It's like, dude, talk about fuck you money when you just get signed a $230 million contract, and you're letting the world know, yeah, I'm fine with writing a check for $5 million.
Not to mention all the girls he's had to settle with of the lawsuits against him too.
Exactly. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we'll move over to the Twins, who just suck. They've lost 2 out of 3 from the Angels, and they were entering a stretch where their next 13 games were against under 500 teams. There's still hope for it, but I was saying they need to go at least 10-3 in this stretch. They're 1-2 right now. They're 2.5 games back from the Guardians. And do we hit the panic button yet, or are we still holding out hope here?
Give it this Royals series. If they lose this series, then yeah, I feel like you can start freaking out. Because I mean, the Royals are decent, but even the Angels are trash, and you blew it again. Pagan lost another one. Shocking.
What a surprise.
But it's just they still can't hit with their runners in scoring position. It's been the tail all year. They just can't freaking do it. And for some reason, I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. They just can't do it.
I think they still rely too much on the home run ball. That's what it is.
Probably.
And you're not going to win many postseason games by relying on the home run ball. You got to be able to advance runners. You got to move them along by getting base hits. And
I keep saying, Buxton needs to go to right field more. Every time he does it, maybe once out of every 30 at bats, he gets a homer.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, go with the ball. You quit pulling. His average is just shit. It's like 215 or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
and that's the sad part. He could be hitting well into the 260s, 270s. If he would,
he's MVP if he did that.
If he would just take it to right field, and with how fast he is, if he gets it down the right field line and hits that wall, he's on third.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you can score runs off that. You don't need to go for the home run ball, and you don't need to pull it all the time, because bad things will come from that.
Yeah, I'm not overly. They're still winning a series. I'm still sticking to that. So we're gonna try to be as positive as we can here, but we'll reassess in a week.
It's the mirror of positivity.
Yeah.
I think the good thing is Cleveland ain't going to run away with the division. They're not good enough to run away with it. So I'm not concerned about that.
That is one thing that's because the Central is just not a good division. And
no, it's just
it's not. You're going to be the 3 seed, and you're going to have to go up against one of the horses, and it's not going to be pretty.
Well, you won't get one of the top 2 probably, or you won't. You probably won't get the Yankees. You'll probably get the other one.
You'll still get the Astros.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, and the Yankees aren't playing very well either right now.
Yeah, they're 2-9 right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I of all the teams, I'd much rather play the Yankees in the. I know the Twins have lost 13 in a row to the Yankees. It seems like in the playoffs, but I'd much rather face them than the Astros right now. The Astros scare the living daylight out of me.
Good. Yeah, they're pretty good.
But if when it comes to this division, if the Twins can't win the Central, we can all agree on this, as long as it's not the White Sox.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone but the nasty people from Chicago.
How does it work now with the 3 wild card teams? Or is it it's 3. It
should be 2, I thought.
So that wild card round, whoever has the highest seed, all 3 games are at home. That's about all I understand from it, is that all 3 games are at home. So if the Twins win the division, they'll be that third third team, and they'll get whoever they play 3 home games.
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
won't go to the wild card team.
Did that start this year, last year?
I
third
feel like they did it.
year.
I feel
Yeah,
like
this
they
is the
did
first
it
year
in. I feel like they did it in the 2020 COVID year. They experimented with it of some sorts. I don't remember the exact, but
So you're telling me we have a chance to win a playoff game without having to face the Astros or Yankees first?
true. Yes.
I mean, hey, if we make the playoffs, it's happening. Like we're gonna break through first.
Stand up, Minnesota. Let's go.
And the teams that are in the wild card, if they're able to come back and take the division crown, they'll play either the Rays or the Mariners, who they've had good success with. So
How crazy is this? Baltimore has a half game on us in the freaking wild card.
yeah, they're 2 games. Twins are 2 games out of the wild card right now, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
they had their first winning month in what was it like?
A decade.
Like 10 months.
No, it was more than that. It was a
It
couple
was-
years.
It was but just like a winning month. It's
mind-boggling.
unbelievable. And now they're all of a sudden getting hot. And it's like,
And then they traded us their best guys. Their
Yeah.
best pitcher, which is just crazy to me.
yeah,
And they didn't even get a whole lot.
No.
no.
Well, and then
didn't
they
get a lot, but now it's under team control for 2 more years and it's only 29. Like that's amazing to me.
So we'll see what happens. We're getting closer to the regular season wrapping. We only got about a month and a half left.
Yeah, what about 7 weeks?
Something
I can't
like
say the
that.
division's going to come down to. It always comes down to the division, but the Twins have like combined 18 games versus the White Sox and the Guardians. So I mean that's what it's going to boil down to.
That's the race.
We'll find out if they have hair on their chest or not. But did you guys do anything over the weekend?
I bet on some ponies at Canterbury.
Ooh, did you win?
I won 3 of 7 bets, so I did. I could have cashed out at $20, but or like gotten some, but I just went all in on the last one. Did a trifecta, and I missed it by a hair. Coming around the last turn, my first 2 were good, and then my third one fell off. He was in third, though. I counted out. So I was feeling pretty good. I don't know what the hell I would have won, but it would have been pretty good. $20 on a trifecta. That'd be a pretty big win.
You know, if you think about it, that'd be kind of a fun thing to tell your friends and brag about.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I just went to Canterbury and won 3 races and predicted 3 horses to be in the top 3, and you got it right. That's kind of a big deal. Right
that's
there.
impressive for anything.
If there's ever a sport I'm going to bet on, it's horse racing because you have your favorites. If you want to win, you bet on them every time. It's pretty obvious. Just bet show you're going to win something. You're not going to win much, but you can say you won every time.
And don't they say Canterbury? Don't they also have like how they've done in their last 10 races?
They have their last 4 on the app. I'm big now. I downloaded the app.
Oh,
yeah, big time. But no, it literally shows you what their last 4 races were, their time, how far ahead they were from like the people behind them, all that stuff. So it does help a lot.
So it does help you out. They're totally not.
Even tells you if it's like dirt or track. Like this one horse hadn't raced since January.
Yeah.
But every one of his prior 4 runs were in Arizona on dirt, where he was running on turf up here. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a wild card here. You know, he's been training for 8 months on turf. Let's try it out. You know, let's see what happens. He didn't do very well. But those are the kind of bets you gotta win if you want to make money there.
Yeah, if you gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah, you gotta think it strategically a bit.
And
It's fun though.
As football season starts, we'll be giving out our weekly picks, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. And Grant, did you do anything exciting over the weekend?
No, not really. I just kind of hung around. Just kind of was a lazier-ish weekend. The weather wasn't great outside.
It's cloudy.
It's just kind of cloudy, so I just kind of laid low and got ready for vacation this week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had went to Bismarck on Saturday. We had a football scrimmage for varsity. And then after that, we had our coach's barbecue, so we just kind of hung out, had some phenomenal food. And then yesterday, my dad and we went out golfing, and I played like shit.
Perfect.
And then what did I do the rest of the day? I watched some film, watched the Vikings game, did laundry. And that was
Did we go Friday? Thursday.
Or was it Friday?
I think it was Friday.
No, it was Thursday.
Was it? I don't know, man. They all.
It was on your
It was
birthday, wasn't it?
It was Wednesday. You're right.
Shit, it was
Yeah.
Wednesday.
God damn it, we
Right.
suck at this.
You guys are lucky
What
you
is
have
life?
me.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, that was. I mean, honestly though, we surprised. No, we are not.
No, but I mean, all in all, we hit it far, we hit it straight sometimes.
But if I take out the triple and the double, I shoot a 43. So you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I shoot like a freaking. I don't even know. I shot a 45. Fuck.
Probably close to a 40.
Yeah.
And then Grant,
Grant's
you're
at
off to
43.
Florida tomorrow. So outside of going full Florida man walking around naked on the beach, what else do you have planned?
So on Thursday, going to Tropicana, going to St. Pete. Gonna
Ooh.
check out the race. They're playing the Royals.
You're definitely gonna get.
We
some
want
type
to.
of practice
We
or
want.
something.
When you come back, we want a full review of the Trop.
Please dedicate
food,
this game to Steve
feel-
Irwin and jump the cavalry tank.
I can do
The
that.
Rays.
I will fight that Ray, and if I get speared in the
Yes.
chest,
It's so be it.
it was meant to be.
So be it.
It was
Well,
meant
I
to be.
guess it'll just be two guys talking ball then, if that happens. And
You can always change your name, but you can't
we
change
do
your memory.
we do expect a full tour, Grant, or full review of the stadium, and
Patrick
So-
Tillman's back.
that's your assignment.
I can do that. I'm guessing it's not going to be great, but hey, for $33 and to be like 3 rows up on the foul line,
Why am I not surprised?
I'll take it.
That's Dylan's favorite seat. He's licking his chops right now.
I'll take it.
He's going to Tampa.
And then
I was just there.
a little
True.
we're gonna go golfing on Wednesday down there, and then I think on Friday, Caleb and I think we're just gonna kind of just a little boys' day, little date night action where the best thing that we have in these big cities, guys, is the electric scooters. They're called Birds,
Yep.
where you download the app on your phone, you put a credit card on file, and you pay like 20 cents a mile or 20 cents a minute or some shit like that.
That can get expensive.
Oh, but it's so much fun. it's worth every single penny. You just
20 cents a minute. Shit.
But those things are going 15, 20 miles an hour. You're on the street. When I was in Austin, Texas this last fall, we were driving around everywhere. You're driving around town. They were so much fun. So we're going to do that around downtown Tampa, kind of by the Riverwalk there, just checking out the ocean, and then getting some delicious seafood on Friday night at a place on the pier about 20 minutes south of Tampa. And then after that, I think just kind of hanging out, enjoying the warm weather, going by the poolside, maybe Saturday morning beach session. That bastard, he goes down there and he says, "Hey, Grant, I got a palm tree in my front yard and there's a couple dead limbs. So I'm thinking I might get you up there in a ladder if you want to cut that down for me."
I love it, Caleb. Smart
good
guy.
But you know what? If you think about it, if the guy's letting you stay at your house for free, not to pay for a hotel, I'll get up there and cut a couple branches down on a palm tree for him. So no, it should be a good time.
There you go.
Can we take a break for a second? I just saw on the NFL Top 100 that Cordero Patterson is 73. So that whole poll is now dead to me.
Yeah, he was 73rd best player in the league last year, according to the players.
I don't think so.
Interesting. Very interesting.
They give him more credit than I do.
He's actually not a bad player.
He's not
On it-
terrible.
No, I don't think he's the 73rd best player in the NFL, but those lists is when they need to release that, like they always used to release that a lot sooner, where it was just that dead period in between the NBA finals and training camp where there was nothing to talk about.
Yeah, now there's all this stuff to talk about.
Well,
Now
was
it
cool
just kind of
because-
gets pushed to the side because there's training camps, there's preseason games, there's hard knocks. They need to release that, go back to releasing that to that time where where now it just kind of gets pushed under the rug. And most of it it's just clickbait for people to discuss on local talk radio.
Well, and like
Yeah.
we said before, it was cool because to your point, Dylan, they'd have 10 episodes every week. They'd have 100 to like 91 and 90
Yeah.
to 81.
Now
And
it's
they
just
actually talked about the guys for a good 5-6 minutes and gave them their praise. Now it's like, oh, we're just going to talk about them for 2 minutes and go to the next person. It's like, what the heck? This is stupid.
they did put Winfield at 25 or 75.
75.
So I mean, I put him a little higher, but he's in there, so I'll take it.
Sky Yuma, baby.
Yes, sir. Row the boat.
And we will, I think probably 2 weeks, we'll do our college predictions. Sound
Sure.
good? All right.
Well, yeah, because the Gophers will kick off 2 weeks from Thursday.
I can go on my
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, well, yeah, because that episode will be released that Thursday, where we
Well, yeah,
will.
because the season starts September 1st.
Yep.
So.
3 weeks.
Yep.
19 days.
It like I said at the start of the show, it feels it's so close, but it's so far away because we've got our first game on Friday, and then junior high we have our first game Monday, and it's still crazy to think that there's still 2 weeks before we have week 0, but it's still 2 weeks before the rest of college football kicks off.
I still want to know this: where's Jerry Kill going to coach this game from? It's not
That
going to be inside.
That is very true.
And Huntington Bank Stadium. Where's he going to go?
Valid point.
Because, well, I texted this in the group chat, and neither of you guys responded. Like, where this is a great question because, for one, I forgot that Jerry Kill was still coaching, and two, he did say after he retired in
after I think they let Clays go.
Yeah, he said he was the Rutgers OC. He said that he was never going to step foot in that stadium again. So I don't know. Be on the lookout that he might have he might test positive for COVID or something and not be able to coach.
Well, and let's be honest here. About 18 months from now, he's unfortunately going to have another health scare. He's going to resign. Some coach is going to hire him as a consultant. Then he's going to go to become a school's athletic director. And then he's going to become a head coach at Pot Roast Tech in Montana. Because
please be sheep.
Because that's all Jerry Kill does.
Yeah.
He's going to go from head coach, a consultant, AD, Pot Roast Tech head coach, and then before you know it, he's going to be, coaching the women's prison league in Leavenworth.
He also said in an interview that he isn't sure if he's going to shake hands with Fleck after the game.
Okay, that's just bush league right there.
Come on,
that's some petty high school. That's some petty high school nonsense.
What? Why? Fleck had nothing to do with it. It's not his. It's not has nothing. Fleck.
He has so much petty for that guy. It's not unbelievable.
It's not Fleck's fault that his assistant decided to go on the internet and post a tweet about supporting his players who were under alleged for assaulting a woman. Yeah. It's not PJ's fault. It's Tracy Clay's being a fool.
It's just
what you don't want to do.
Who knows?
Gophers aren't smart. Gophers aren't smart animals out there, but a lot of rodents aren't. And
Clays is worse than most.
When you look at Jerry Kill, he looks like a gopher, so he's not that smart.
This is true. This is true. Boy, wait. Oh, Ethan was like the between him and Jerry Kill and Richard Pitino. If you about 4 or 5 years ago, if you said a bad word about either of those two, he was ready to crucify you. Now he's.
I still like Richard. I really do. I mean, Jerry's a fuck, but I do still really like Richard.
Yeah. He's a funny dude.
He's a funny man.
I got to give him that. He's a funny dude.
Okay.
He just was kind of a very
not a
lazy
good coach.
recruiter. He's a very lazy.
He couldn't recruit in-state talent.
Yeah, he was lazy.
Yeah, especially where Minnesota might have like the most talent in any pound for pound, probably the most talent in the state for basketball.
Yeah, and it's not slowing down anytime soon.
And I also feel like it's still somewhat slept on.
It is 1,000%.
High school basketball talent in this state is slept on nationally.
The 2026 class in Minnesota is going to be absolutely just insane.
These guys are eighth
graders. There's 5 2026s that played in the Twin Cities, so like big cool schools that played varsity last.
All right, we're done talking about 8th grade basketball because
hey, I'm just saying
that's too far ahead. I'm sure they are, but I just that's too far ahead. This is getting out of control, and we're gonna move over to Curveball of the Week. So I have it this week.
Which 8th grader are you picking?
I don't pick 8th graders. So Curveball of the Week. Last week we ended the show by doing starter kits for dad things, and we're gonna just kind of snowball off that a little bit, and we're gonna talk about what are you talking about?
We're gonna do the mom starter pack.
No.
Eggs. Okay.
No.
Any kitchen
But
utensils?
we're gonna put you guys on the spot here. I guess myself too. But what is the most dad thing you guys do?
Oh man!
Most dad thing that I do?
Wow. Trying to think now. I definitely click the tongs and say we're ready when I'm grilling.
Yeah, that's fair. Kind of like what I said last week. I think, if you're ever tying something down with a ratchet strap, pulling on it twice, yep, that thing's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I definitely say that. I think I kind of pick up on some of the lingo that my dad uses when he talks around me, and especially when he's talking, to younger guys, like especially at work. Some of my employees, I'm always, hey buddy, how you doing? Good morning, kind of just saying some of the stuff that my dad would say and some of the bad jokes. Like I'm like, oh, we're walking in today, boys. You know what we're gonna do out here? We're gonna beef this thing up a little bit. Have them build, ground beef.
That's good.
And then just kind of some some of those random comments like that where it's some phrases that these kids have never heard before, where I walk in and I'm just like, oh boy, howdy, today's gonna be a big one here today, boys. Just kind of the dad isms.
I go with
that my dad would say.
I mean, a lot of people at work always ask me, how's your morning going? I'm like, well, I'm vertical instead of horizontal. So, I mean, that's always good. So that's probably my go-to.
Another one, this is maybe my favorite is, hey, how we doing, boys? LTD, baby. Living the dream.
Well,
Fair.
no, you know how you really dad that one up is you say you're living the dream one nightmare at a time.
Where I go. Living the dream or someone's nightmare. We don't know whose it is, but it's one of them.
Well, and for me, this one is since I'm the only one here who owns a house, brag. But I've started.
The housing market is a lot cheaper out there than it is here.
That's a piss poor excuse. But anyways, I still.
Oh wait, I'm still making up money. So I forgot about that.
I still own a house, brag. But there's certain things that I pick up on that, I look at somebody's yard. I just get pissed off when I see it, that it's just ridiculous. Like where the grass is like 10 feet high, makes the rest of our neighborhood look like shit.
Okay, legitimate. What would you grade you on? 1 out of 10.
Oh, right now? It needs a lot of work right now. It needs some overseeding.
Is it more yellow? Is it just like too shaggy, weedy? What are we looking at? What kind of issues?
It's a lot of dirt, some weeds, not a lot of grass. I haven't watered it much because there's just not much to water. It's going to be my project for next year. Work on it more.
It's a little late this year.
And it'll come, just a lot of overseeding, a lot of watering, but it'll be the nicest yard on the block.
Okay.
And also
on the record, folks.
And I'll be working on something. I don't know if your guys' dads do this, but like you'll be working on something and you just can't quite get it. And like just the littlest things just get you the most outraged.
Hey, next summer, you brought up next summer. Is there a chance we can do like a podcast on top of a mountain in Montana when we go?
Probably, yeah.
That'd be fun.
You see people making reels all the time out in Utah and Montana and Wyoming on their hikes. There's some page, I don't follow this, but like I said earlier, I don't have the TikTok app, but you watch on Instagram or Facebook. It's this guy who lives in Utah who takes his golden retriever named Nala. Nala is a cat's name, by the way.
Oh my God.
Not a dog. Not a dog. Not a dog's name.
I agree. Grant, that's probably the smartest thing you've ever said.
The bar is so low.
Thank you. And yes, Ethan is right. The bar is pretty low. Because I'm not the smartest person out there, but that's okay. But he just takes his dog out for adventures all the time in the mountains in Utah. And absolutely, you could easily do something like this.
Oh yeah, there's a way. We'll get some more mics. We'll make something work. So With
What
that,
else is gonna jump and give us a live detour, or live shot of what's it like to jump off a mountain? We're gonna paraglide.
So, hi, I'm Grant Castor, and welcome to Jackass.
Yeah, then you paraglide off the damn mountain.
oh boy, that's a content. That's some content right there. So that's how we'll end the show. We'll talk to you next week.